Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews.
We need your support, so if you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page.
I want to thank Limerick Bowl for their support. If you're in the area, don't forget to visit Limerick Bowl in Limerick, Pennsylvania. Let me introduce our new partner, Haley's Pro Shop. A big thank you to Jeff Miller and Ron Hoppy. Don't forget to check out Haley's Pro Shop in Burlington, Washington for world-class drilling and coaching. Welcome back, everybody. Today we are testing the new Storm Omega Crux. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. First impressions, wow, this thing is dull out of the box. The Omega Crux is the smooth, controlled Crux motion we've become familiar with. The grip makes sure it hooks up and goes, showing off some punch. Today we're looking at the house shot. We will have a sport shot separate as usual. So overall, we've previewed the ball, so we'll jump past the specs and get right into the ball motion of the Omega Crux. This sure looks like plenty of surface out of box, as I mentioned. It's definitely going to read the lane, but you won't necessarily feel like it's hooking at your feet. And that's a balance I actually like. And while many people don't seem to do this often, I frequently do put surface on pearls to get the earlier, smoother read the surface offers while taking advantage of the back end of a pearl. The point is, polishing a solid doesn't make it a pearl, and dulling a pearl doesn't quite turn it into a solid from a ball reaction standpoint. The swirly colors allow you to see the core transition, and you can see and feel that grittiness and core chug and lope as it transitions. The shape of the catalyst core on lane is smooth and forward while still feeling like it has back end. And for me, for example, the Halo Pearl was even more forward off the end of the pattern. The Omega is not an exception to the Crux line motion. I mean, it actually reminds me of balls like the Lock and the Critical Theory, but I would say the Omega is more forward than the Lock line. So they're similar right up until the ball gets into the roll phase. At that stage, the Radix core in the Lock generates more angle, down lane. I compare it here, for example, to the Snap Lock to give you an idea of what I'm referring to. The bottom line is that there's a good margin where you can play this ball through the fronts, but there also is a clear limit because eventually that forward motion will give up angle down lane if you get too deep. How much is relative to the bowler? Ultimately, this is a bigger piece than needed on the house shot, but I had no problem using it on the fresh. For Bryan, there are no major surprises relative to what I saw. It's smooth, relatively early for a Pearl ASIM, again attributable to the amount of out-of-box surface. Ultimately, he's playing pretty direct, and that's in his wheelhouse for both his game and the Omega Crux. And he generally saw the ball hook up at the right time to give him good continuation and good carry. We've talked before how much he loves his locks. Yes, he has 2 Storm locks. And I kind of speculated if he would consider the Omega Crux as a replacement. I talked about the difference where the lock is more angular, but actually it's a characteristic he's mentioned a couple of times that makes the lock a little tougher to use on sport shots like at Nationals. With the Omega being similar but a touch more forward, this could possibly be that replacement with a little more usability. So final thoughts, ultimately, we found the Omega Crux to be a good offering. I like that it came with the surface out of box. That gives you an idea of what it's capable of. I only use the info of Pearl, Solid, or Hybrid from the manufacturer directionally. It's not be-all, end-all. And this is a good case where you could theoretically use this ball at the top of your bag. It's got plenty of grip and motion. I can see this working on sport shots as well because it is angular, but the more forward motion gives it more control and predictability. For example, I find the physics to have a great motion, but it's a bit cleaner and more angular, which makes it great for open shots, a little tougher on flatter shots like the way Bryan sees the lock. Alright, that's our review for the Omega Crux. Look out for the sport shot test soon, and don't forget to like and subscribe.